thank you everyone for coming on short notice. So we had a record 8 Penn State student athletes that won medals in Rio. 8 medals, was tied for the Big Ten lead and number 8 nationally with Indiana. So that was tremendous news. So Sandy Barbour is going to kick us off, and then we have Mark Pavlik, Wes Glahn, and Cale Sanderson all here in the BJC, and then we're going to shift over to the outdoor pool as long as the weather holds, and we'll have Shane Ryan and Coach Tim Murphy over there at 12:30. All right. So, Sandy, you can kick it off, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Yeah, I have two adjoining perspectives of this. One is as a very proud athletic director, uh, having our student athletes, our alumni, perform on the worldwide stage is always it's always really a neat moment for a community, for obviously those individual alumni and their families, but on top of that, the pride for Penn State. And then in this particular year, quadrennium, I had the opportunity to go to Rio and engage with not only some of our alumni who were participating, but other alumni who were in Rio and were in the area and were engaging and showing Penn State pride. And it was just a really, really fabulous experience that I think we have to stop and realize and acknowledge really how fortunate we are and the quality and the level of student athlete that we attract to Penn State that then has the opportunity to go on and do something like this, to be, number one, an Olympian. That's a huge feat. And for us to have those 25, including 3 coaches, I think is spectacular. But then to have the fencers and the volleyball alums and track alum who had the opportunity to take that to another level in terms of medaling, I think is really a special moment, not only for them but obviously for us.
What was your favorite event or your favorite experience there? Because you were kind of all over the place.
I tried to be all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. It was, it was 4 fast and furious days. I went back and forth. It's not a great time for us in terms of the life cycle of what we're doing on campus. But I really felt like this is one of those moments you don't wanna pass on, and particularly given where I am in my lifetime at Penn State, this was an opportunity to engage with some of our alumni who maybe I have not had the opportunity to. I'd never met Miles Chamley Watson before, and I had that opportunity. Aaron Russell, of course, played here my first year, but Matt Anderson and Max Holt did not. So I had an opportunity to engage with them. It would be hard to say a favorite moment. If I had to pick one, it's just because of the predominance of Penn State connections, but that would be that Mexico USA volleyball match in which we had 3 alums playing for the USA. The captain of the Mexican team is an alum, and then an assistant coach is an alum. I think that just from pure Penn State numbers, that would certainly be a highlight for me. The other would be to have had the opportunity to see Miles Chamley Watson win a bronze medal with the USA foil team, and at that point I had not met Miles, didn't know whether Miles had any idea I was there or not, and tried to place myself strategically in order to capture his attention with our little Penn State flag or whatever. Was unsuccessful in doing that, and it was about 9 o'clock at night at that point in time, and I thought, all right, I got one more chance, and I knew where the family section was. And so I went and positioned myself behind the family section, hoping that at some point Miles would come by. And I had been standing there about 6 or 7 minutes, and literally I'm facing out into the arena this way, and the family section is below me. And all of a sudden, I'm looking to the right, and he walks behind me and walks that way. And I recognize him because he's very, very tall. And then I hopefully didn't make too much of a fool of myself chasing him down and introducing myself. And he could not have been more gracious about Penn State and wanting to come back to campus and how much he misses Penn State and how much he attributes his success to his coaches and to the opportunity and the platform that Penn State provided for him.
Some of the broader topics surrounding these games were in socio-political nature. What was your impression, and how do you feel the athletes, especially the ones representing this program, ultimately reacted to all of those things?
I mean, unfortunately, the Olympic Games per se, period, have become very politicized. I will say this, that the people of Brazil were, in my estimation and in my experiences, were absolutely phenomenal. From that perspective, it was an incredible experience. They went out of their way to make sure that we felt comfortable and safe and welcomed and introduced to aspects of their culture and their country. And I think, I think they did a tremendous job. I mean, we knew who we were granting the games to when we did it, and therefore knew that there were going to be some ups and downs, and there were probably some things around athlete safety, health, more health, health around competitive arenas that probably should have been addressed. But the rest of it is part of going to a foreign country for us as the United States. Going to a country that maybe infrastructure is not as prepared as somebody else's might be. I think in terms of our student athletes, our alumni, I wasn't there when Frank Molinaro competed on the last day. I did make sure I got to the venue so that I could visualize when I sat in front of my TV or my computer, and when Frank competed on the last day, that I would have a sense for the venue. But I had an opportunity to spend a little bit of time with Frank and Casey Sanderson at the Cody Sanderson at the USA House earlier in that week before I left. I think that our folks were wanted to be great ambassadors for the United States. Wanted to be great ambassadors, certainly for Penn State. It's what I loved about that connection. But mostly, they were there on a mission. They had something that they wanted to do, whether as an individual competitor or as representing a team and representing the United States or Mexico or Ireland in Shane's case. So I think that they very, very capably kind of either flew under or over, depending on how you want to look at it, and tried to make the games about what it really should be about, which is kind of a global viewpoint of sport in general.
Even though you didn't get to see Frank wrestle in person, so obviously this is the very last day of the event here. Can you take us through your view of what his story has been? Truly, I think an underdog story coming up, outside of the wrestling program and then coming up and then wrestling for bronze.
Yeah, I mean, you think about Heart of a Lion. As it relates to Penn State, and I think Frank truly represents that. I mean, he's kind of proven that what you put your mind to and what you put your heart behind and your passion behind, that you can truly accomplish. And although certainly there's disappointment in being literally inches and centimeters and seconds from being a medalist in the Olympic Games, I don't think you could be any more proud of Frank, and frankly, for that matter, all of our alums that competed, they all represented themselves and their families and Penn State and their countries in just such a first-class fashion, and I think Frank certainly leads the way on that, and we've not heard the last from Frank.
And the fact that you guys had those 31 varsity sports, obviously not every school has that. What do you think this game kind of says as far as a statement that you guys have so many games, but yet you're also able to produce that kind of higher caliber?
For me, it's about Penn State representing an opportunity at next level. Whether that next level is a PhD in molecular biology, or that next level is the NFL, or it's a chance at an Olympic medal, or it's being the president of the United States or the CEO of some company. It's about the opportunity that Penn State and obviously in our case Penn State athletics provides for a student, and the platform and the opportunity and the resources and the tools to achieve their very, very best selves. And the Olympics, certainly for some certain number of sports, is not just next level, but it's world platform. And for Penn State student athletes to perform at a medal level there, I think speaks volumes to our coaches and the kind of coaching that they've received along the way. It speaks volumes to the passion and the support of our various communities, and to help them along the way. Particularly at the volleyball venue, both men and women, when those Penn State alums first saw that Penn State flag, I mean, big old smiles on their faces and pointing to it, and wow, we're in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and there's a Penn State flag. So I think it speaks to the power of Penn State and the opportunity that a student has when they come here.
Do you have any plans, or is it something you talked about, kind of bring some of these people here to honor them at some point?
We're trying to work pretty quickly to determine a home football weekend wherein we would invite them all back to honor their achievements as Olympians. Yeah. Give me the hook, Jeff. All right.
Thank you.